bride, here comes the bride, here comes the, just kidding, it's just me. Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nika and it's Wednesday. Happy Camel Day! So how many of you out there think that Avril Lavigne is dead? Cause I don't. I think she's alive. I think she just decided to change her music, guys. Calm down. Promise you it's gonna be okay. Avril Lavigne, I still love you, even after this. Frankly, I just thought it was kind of funny and weird and like whatever. A lot of people were like, no, she's different. Guys, I hate to admit it to you, but singers and bands and performers change too. Just kidding. Same thing with Paramore. Leave Paramore alone. They're doing something different and it's okay, I promise. You don't have to like it, but you don't have to be livid at Paramore for changing their interest. It's gonna be okay, I promise. Not everything can stay the same. I had to deal with that with AFI this recent album. You know, I still love them. Their current style of music isn't necessarily what I would choose for them, but I'm also not AFI. I'm not Davey Havok. I'm sorry. I can try harder to be Davey Havok. I can be Davey Havok from like 8 years ago. Hey, Miss Murder, can I? That was the best I could do. So today my husband and I were going to the DMV early. And when I say early, I mean early. Like, he woke me up at 6:30. Now, I know all of you people that I used to work with will be like,
that's not early.
But for me now, it's early. Even then, that was way too early. I don't know how I did that, getting up at like 4 in the morning and going to work. Oh man, I don't know how I did that. But anyway, so we get up super early, we shower, we eat breakfast, we go to the DMV. And while we're walking to our car, there's this guy kind of looking at us funny. Like, he's giving us the eye, like, what are these kids doing? Kind of an eye. And David turns to me and he says,
Do you think when people see us, they just see some punk kids?
And then I'm like, yeah, I think they do. And we got to talking about back when we were engaged. Now, we got engaged, we got married. Stuff happened, right? Well, David actually filmed our proposal, so I'll show you a little snippet of that right here. Super cute, right? Best day of my life, aside from my wedding day. They're, you know, they both win. Well, the first thing to happen was a bunch of people who were much older than us walked up to us to kind of say congratulations. But they also said,
So, how old are you guys? How old are you? How old are you?
We were definitely like older than I think they thought we were. I think they were thinking we were like 18, and some kids do that at like 18 and 17 and 16. I had a friend in high school that was engaged to a guy, and as far as I know, they have not been together since high school. But then it got me thinking even kind of a little bit more after that, when I was really excited that I had gotten engaged. Some people were super excited with me, but some people had the gall to say things like,
You know it's gonna fail, right? Just go to college, you know, get a job. You can always get married later. Are you sure you want to spend forever with him? You know he's gonna get old one day. You're too young to even know who you are. Figure out who you are first and then get married. You can always get married later when you're like 60.
Funny thing about all these people is none of them were my dad. None of them. They were all complete strangers. You know, I'd be either like at work checking people out or at the store getting checked out, you know, with the cash register, not like getting checked out. That was weird. And you know, I would just be genuinely excited and want to show off my ring. It's a gorgeous ring. I love my ring. And that would be the response I would get from people. So it got me thinking today, is there really an age that's too young to get married? Is there really an age where you should be doing anything? Is it anybody's business what we do? Here's the thing, we are all different. And I think that that's something that we kind of forget about. Last night I watched this video from Blimey Cow. I will link it in the description. It was really funny. And they basically asked girls all of the questions that burn men's mind. Like, when we're upset, why do we say,
I'm fine.
Or how come we never know where we want to eat? Those kinds of burning questions. But the thing of that video is their answers for those questions were not the same as the reasons that I do those things. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. But yeah, generally like my answers were kind of different. So one of the questions was, why is it so hard for us to decide where we want to eat, but then you like suggest something and we're like, oh, I'm not really feeling that. Really for me, it's because I already know what I want and it's probably something disgusting. I'm a little too embarrassed to say that that's what I want, so I want you to suggest it. So I'll just keep saying no until you suggest what I actually want. That's why I do that. And you know, my husband is, he works at a health food store, so he's really into health food, organic food, natural food. We're both vegetarians. Like it is very important to us, but sometimes a girl just wants In-N-Out, but she doesn't want to say it, so she wants her husband to say it for her. I usually just say,
I'm fine.
because I don't want to talk about it. I don't. Like, it's not, you know, generally when I say something like that, I know that it's not worth it to be upset about it, and I'm trying to get past it. And if you keep pestering me, then I'm gonna just get mad and we're gonna have a fight, and I don't want to do that. Generally, I do kind of need to talk about it, but I just don't want to, if that makes sense. Those answers that they gave in that video were very funny, but they are not the general answer for every girl. Just like David and I are not the general answer for every couple under 25. Here's the real truth of the matter. I love being married. It probably was the best decision that I've made in my life, and you know, I don't do things the classic way. I started to, and it didn't really work out for me. I went to college, I started college, and I wanted to be a drama teacher. I loved theater, I wanted to have a career. I also am really short, so like I generally don't easily get cast in things, so I was like, well, I love theater, I might as well just learn it and teach it rather than be rejected from every play I've ever wanted to be in. And I ended up having a really bad experience. I got into teaching and ended up being verbally abused and physically hurt, not by my boss physically, but I was verbally abused, and then I hurt myself at this job, and it just kind of broke me down and made me realize like I didn't want that. And so I went back to school to finish out my theater stuff. Don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with that, but I'm okay with that. I started doing this. I love YouTube. I got married because I was with a guy that I really loved for 4 years at the time, and I immediately, the second I met him, I knew I wanted to marry him. So my story is very different than a couple that maybe met like a year before they turned 22. You know what I mean? Like, we'd been going out for a long time, we were crazy about each other, and from the get-go, we planned on getting married. Like, it's not like we met and we were like, let's get married, okay. But early on in our relationship, we sat down and we said, hey, we want something serious. We want to get married someday. Is that what you want? Perfect, let's aim for that. It was a conversation that happened. It was a goal that we eventually met. And I think that's what makes us different than a lot of couples that just jump into marriage. But that being said, just because that whole thing worked for us doesn't necessarily mean exactly that is going to work for another couple. It's kind of like marriage books. Sometimes, for some couples, they do really work. Like love languages, I will recommend it to a lot of couples, but it didn't really work for me. I'm way too complex for that kind of a thing. I don't have a single love language that can just be answered. I'm all over the place. My husband knows it. But really though, every couple is different, and a lot of different things work for people. I've known people that knew each other for like 6 weeks and then got married, and they are still happily together. I know people who dated forever and never got married and then finally got married, and they're happy too. It just depends on who you are, it depends on what works for you as a couple, and it depends on what makes you happy. We need to stop generalizing people and give them advice to help them work through stuff. So instead of telling me,
your marriage is going to fail,
maybe you could actually just say,
you know, I've known people that got married too soon and it didn't really work out for them. So what I think you should do is maybe take a little more time to get to know this person and just be sure it's what you want. Or, you know, just make sure you go through counseling and make sure you get all of your little kinks worked out before you get married, so you can have the happiest, most successful relationship and marriage ever.
That would have been really nice, rather than strangers telling me that my marriage was going to fail. I know I look young, but I'm not 18, guys. All right, that was my rant for the day. Basically all I'm trying to say is, like, you know, just like with my last video about the dogs, you know, maybe we should just stop telling people how to live their lives and start giving them beneficial advice on how to help their lives, on how to help them be successful, rather than just doom them to failing. Best advice that I can give for marriage, like if you want to kind of get into getting married, if you want to if you want to get married, is get to know the person that you're with. Get to know their worst sides and their best sides. See them at their worst, see them at their best, including like sick and gross versus happy and healthy versus angry versus sad. Just make sure you see all of those sides to that person. Make sure that this person is somebody that you could imagine growing old with, because if you get married, chances are you're gonna grow old with that person. And also just make sure you know yourself. What are your needs in life? And make sure you can communicate that to the other person. And just a heads up, people do change, and that does happen, just like it happened with Avril Lavigne and Paramore. People do change, and that is okay. Be sure you're with someone that you can love as they evolve into a new person, because I promise you within the 100 years that you're gonna be married to them or so, that they're gonna change at some point. They're gonna start liking different things. Their taste buds are gonna change, and they're gonna start liking different foods. They're gonna change their style at some point. And it's okay. Just be sure you're with someone who you will love through those changes. I absolutely adore my husband, and being married this past year has been the best thing. We went through some really hard stuff in the first couple of months of our marriage, but we were really able to bond together and fight through it together, and that has been absolutely amazing. And I think I'm not thankful for people doing mean stuff to us. Don't take this way. I'm not thankful for that, but I am thankful I had my husband through that, and I'm thankful that I could be there with him through it as well. I love being married. It's been a blessing, and I believe wholeheartedly that God sent him to be with me. Like, how we met is so crazy, and how we fell in love and how we've been able to stick through so much is just awesome, and I love it. I love every second of it, and I cannot wait to see what the next 99 years show for us. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. You can follow me now on Twitter at NikaClassyBird. I don't know Twitter, so like, somebody help me. Do you post like all of the time on Twitter, just like everything you're thinking, or are you supposed to post like less than you do on Facebook? Like, what's the Facebook-Twitter ratio? How does that work? You can also follow Scrap on Instagram at Scrapadapple for daily cute pictures and links to our vlog channel. We also have a vlog channel where you can see our daily lives. I do it probably about twice a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, just depending on how crazy life gets. I just recently hit 38 subscribers, and I could not be happier about it. And I loved seeing it grow, and I want to continue to see it grow. So if you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. It means a lot. I'm still a small growing channel, but I love all of you the same. I don't know what that was. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to stay classy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.